My sister and I had about 3 existential crises each over the weekend, so our obvious solution was to binge watch TV. And now I'm officially up to speed on the Umbrella Academy.
Once upon a time, there were a bunch of superpowered babies all born on the same day. 7 of these lucky little weirdos got adopted by a genius billionaire. He called us the Umbrella Academy.
The Umbrella Academy is really interesting, mainly because of its characters. Since we have a whopping 7 main characters to focus our attention on, the show will manage to pull you in just by sheer numbers. Whether it's relatable Klaus, deadpan Diego, or empathetic Allison, you're just about destined to like at least a few of the Hargreaves. The fan favorite is definitely 5. Reginald Hargreave just numbered his children. They ended up naming themselves later on, but 5 disappeared when he was just 13 and therefore has no name. He reappears when his siblings are 30, reuniting for their father's funeral. Turns out he had accidentally time traveled into a post-apocalyptic world and was stranded there for 45 years. His main goal in 2019 is to rally his family in order to fight off the apocalypse, which will be arriving in about a week. The catch is that he's back in his 13-year-old body.
It's my son Kenny's birthday today, and wouldn't your son be happier playing with kids his own age? Assuming it's okay with your 2 dads.
I would rather chew off my own foot.
Since 5 has come from the future, he just inherently knows a lot more about everything than his siblings. He also has a better look at the big picture and is therefore always writing off their concerns as petty. On the other hand, he looks like a literal child. He is the kid brother in a gang of 30-year-olds, and they are constantly brushing him off. This leads to the essence of 5. No one takes him seriously because of his age. This is what makes him so relatable to the teenagers that the Umbrella Academy is marketed toward. This idea of being constantly brushed aside due to youth is honestly a Gen Z trend. Additionally, 5's inability to get through to his siblings echoes a larger motif of miscommunication throughout the show. Interestingly enough, there are no cell phones in the Umbrella Academy, even though it takes place in 2019. The characters are forced to use payphones and clunky landlines, leading them to be alienated from each other at crucial moments throughout the storyline. They also drive retro cars, which just furthers the idea of them not being able to reach each other. This literal difficulty in communication is only compounded by 5, who is never taken seriously by his siblings.
Yet again, you are experiencing daddy issues. This time with your own brother, which honestly is making me a bit crazy. But remember this, I have seniority here, so it is me you should be listening to, Luther. I'm the daddy here!
Still, 5 is extremely loyal to his family. Even though he doesn't say it much, it's clear from the sacrifices he makes for them, especially in Season 2. 5 is also the most dedicated to actually helping people, unlike his siblings who keep putting their selfish needs ahead of, saving the world.
Get up, we're going.
Where?
Save the world.
Oh, is that all?
Also, Aidan Gallagher was only 15 when the first season released, and it was really refreshing to see a teenager playing a teenager. My guy can't even watch R-rated movies, and he literally carried this show on his back. The camera lingers heavily on Aidan, and he manages to bring out the layers in 5 through his dialogue delivery, expressions, and body language. He could also pass as Timothée Chalamet's younger brother, so there's that. To give credit where it's due, the Umbrella Academy is consciously diverse. In the Hargreave siblings alone, we've got an African American, Asian American, and Mexican American.
Really tired.
Sorry, liar. Drop dead. Low.
Since they were adopted though, they have no culture to bring to the table, per se. It's not terrible though. This is a superhero story, and some of the superheroes just happen to be people of color. In Season 2, we even get an Indian British character.
You don't know anything about
I know everything. You are an open book written for very dumb children.
We We also get depictions of PTSD and LGBTQ stories, which just makes our characters feel like real people, and honestly feels like a breath of fresh air when compared to most other TV shows. It doesn't hurt that the entire cast is mad talented. Robert Sheehan definitely deserves an honorable mention for his wonderful performance as Klaus.
To make their escape from a doomed world. A doomed present. God, this is a tough crowd. Jesus Christ.
Still, everyone, even the minor characters, slipped into their roles so well. It honestly feels like it's been forever since I watched such a talented cast. Unlike superhero movies, which have to cram 879 CGI battles into 90 minutes, the Umbrella Academy can afford to give its actors some room to breathe. And boy, do they make the most out of it. However, every time there is a fight scene, the Umbrella Academy has this weird habit of blasting pop music. In limited doses, this can be pretty cool and feels like one of those amazing edits. However, the lack of dialogue and actual sound effects just kind of makes your brain disassociate from the characters and the plot. There are even random montages throughout the show which are backed by the same over-the-top music. It works insanely well in some spots, but feels rather odd in others. Though the departure from the norm is exciting, it has the exact same negative effect that is associated with Bollywood songs, just without the dancing. There is also some confusion and intentional vagueness surrounding the siblings' powers.
Alright, quick rundown. Luther, super strength. Klaus can commune with the dead. Allison can rumor anyone to do anything.
Except she never uses it.
I heard a rumor. You punched yourself in the face.
It gets a little weird when characters start doing things that weren't part of their powers before without any explanation. Similarly, the show kind of glosses over the intricacies of time travel, which is a bit problematic when so much of the plot hinges on a couple of technicalities. It is mainly forgivable though, and it's definitely not the worst case scenario. Throughout the show, there are also a lot of scenes that do nothing to further the plot. Some of them are absolute highlights and give us a moment to breathe and explore our characters, but others just fall flat. There were unfortunately a couple of scenes that just felt extremely unnecessary and honestly awkward. Other than these, the pacing of the storyline was terrific. Things unfolded evenly over the course of the entire season, and both seasons had a clean ending while still leaving enough questions to keep you hooked. Needless to say, I can't wait for season 3. It's Auga Frauga, idiots!
You killed one of ours, Olga. Now we're coming after you. You will be dead by nightfall.
Hey, it's Öga Fröga, idiots. Swedish for an eye for an eye.
Wrong number. Have a lovely day.